Hey everyone, this is Denzel Snipes, and we are here with week 4 of Picked Off.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
He's the host.
I believe it was my turn for this week.
Oh, it sure was. All right, so do over. There we
go. Let's forgive our guest because you guys know that we humbly invited Dom and Jay to join us because we've been running this, me and JJ, for a very long time. But glad to have everybody on the show. Week 4 had some good games last week. Dom lost the bet, still hasn't paid up, but he's calling out Marcus for being Welcher. But we got Welch and Dom in the house, JJ Jenkins in the house, and Denzel Snipes, man. So let's get to week 1.
I just haven't paid you yet. The difference is that Stain says he's not going to pay me. So I'm going to keep calling him out. Every time he posts, I'll be like, you got that money?
Wait, what
Marcus
was
is
the bet?
the trick.
What was the bet with Marcus?
Marcus will ignore every
He
post.
bet me that the Bears would win the division last year.
Oh, that bet was over quick.
Yeah.
So, first game, we got Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. The battle of two mid-bird teams. So, I'm going to pick Seattle. I just think they're a slightly better team. Last week put up 44 against the Saints. I know it was against the Saints, and then 31 against the Steelers. So, Smith Najigba having a pretty good season so far. So, whatever his prop bet is, I would probably bet on that. And, yeah, I think Seattle wins this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take Seattle on this one. Yeah, they hung 44 on the Saints and everything. I expect this to be a little bit tougher of a game. I actually can see this one being pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and take the Hawks 24-20. I think a Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown keeps it close, but ultimately the Hawks pull away. And let's see here. Yeah, no covering going on. Dom?
Hold on. What about me? We going in order.
We going in order?
Hold on. Why you always keep skipping me till last? I don't understand that.
Save the best for last.
You might be in a different spot on his screen.
We're saving the best for last.
I mean,
unless you want Dom to be the best.
I just don't. I thought we were going in order as we have always been.
Okay, JJ, who you got? Tell me who you got.
I have Arizona Cardinals in this one, and I've got them winning 24-20 because I actually like what Arizona's doing. I like what they're getting together. Even though they lost James Conner, they still have a great tight end and good wide receivers, Marvin and Kyler. And Kyler hasn't played bad. Kyler actually has been playing very, very well. And I think that this is a typical division game, but I actually think Arizona's going to come out on top 24-20. So I will not take that Seahawks spread, and I will take the other side of that.
All right, Dom.
James, did you call them two mid-bird teams?
Pretty much.
I mean, obviously that game against the Saints skews the numbers a little bit, but Sam Darnold has the highest PFF ranking of any quarterback in the NFL right now. Not to be taken lightly. Ginger Jesus rolls on. I got the Seahawks. I'll definitely take that spread. I think they're going to win like 28-20. They're pretty much better all over the field than the Cardinals. I like what the Cardinals are doing. I don't like that they let the fucking Red Cowboys off the hook last week. I'm still quite incensed about that.
Seahawks let them off the hook too, week 1.
But yeah, next game.
All right. Next game.
All right, we're going overseas. Or
which one
are we? Oh, whatever order you got.
Oh God, is this at like 9:00 in the morning then?
So you got the Vikings coming off that big win against the Cincinnati Bengals, absolutely destroyed them. And then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, late game winning touchdown pass to win that game.
Bless you.
I think I'm going to go Minnesota. I usually don't pick the Purple Freaks, but I like what I saw especially from the defense, not really the offense. Justin Jefferson kind of having a quiet start to the season, numbers-wise, but that defense, what they did last week against a pretty good offense, And the Cincinnati Bengals got a lot of good players at receiver, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I like what the defense did for Minnesota, so I'll take the Vikings.
I'll go ahead and take the Vikings in this one also. I don't expect this at all to be a Carson Wentz redemption story. I expect them to do enough, just enough to win the game. Surprisingly, I do see it close, though. I think it comes down to a defensive stop. Both still have solid defenses and such, but I've got Carson Wentz beating A-Rod in this one. I'll take the Vikings 27-23. Once again, it'll be a turnover in the final minute. Vikings win. JJ?
I'm gonna go with the Steelers because I think that Vikings win against Cincinnati has less to do with them and more to how bad Cincinnati actually is. So I don't put too much stock in them dominating them. I do think this is a better opponent that they're going against, and I do think, yes, Brian Flores likes to blitz, but Aaron Rodgers has made his living beating the blitz, and he has weapons with Calvin Austin and DK Metcalf, and he does have a decent defense, enough to make Carson Wentz rattled. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one, and I'm going to go 24-17.
Dom?
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers as well, even though I think right now and for the foreseeable future, even when he's healthy again, I think that Minnesota should be starting Carson Wentz for the foreseeable future because right now he gives them a better chance to win than Mac Jones, JJ McCarthy. Mac Jones. JJ McCarthy. Wait,
Mac Jones actually led the Patriots.
I was going to say, wait a minute. That comparison that I've been making of JJ McCarthy to Mac Jones is actually now an insult to Mac Jones.
He's closer to Zach Wilson than he is Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that video of Zach Wilson when all the brothers were throwing up the gang signs and repping their hood, and he was just like, whoa, like, what the hell?
But yeah, that being said, for similar reasoning to what JJ had, I'm going to take the Steelers. It's not like Carson Wentz went out there and, burned down barns. It was just every time I turned around, Minnesota was scoring on defense because Jake Browning was throwing an interception that led to 6 points, fumbling that led to 6 points, getting sacked, fumbling again. Yeah, I'll take the Steelers. I don't think it's going to be particularly close either. 28-14.
As arrogant as Aaron has been, he actually looks a lot more happier and calmer being in Pittsburgh. More mature, actually.
That's all them damn mushrooms. He told y'all what he be taking.
I do think he's happier there than he was with the Jets.
And I think
that's not saying much.
But I think James is onto the point. I think the way that whole thing went down with him, he was like, all right, I ain't got time for this BS no more. I already know what this is. And I think he knows he's not 2018 or 2019 Aaron. He's still a good version of Aaron, and Aaron, a good version, is better than, I would say, 50% of the league. And so he looks happier. I listened to his interviews. He's not as abrasive as he used to be.
All right. Well, next game.
Where are we going next? You got the Tennessee Titans going against the Houston Texans.
Oh, God.
Jay, I got to tell you, I'm really worried about the Houston Texans. I'm worried about CJ Stroud, what I've seen. Like, I know what everyone has said about the O-line and offensive coordinator. But CJ, I just don't think is making good decisions with the ball right now. So the Texans lose a close game to the Jaguars, 0-3, tough place to be in, another division game. I think Texans win this one at home, but Jay, how worried are you right now about the Texans?
Are you?
Well, there's only been one team this century to start 0-3 and to still make the postseason. Ironically, it was the Houston Texans in 2018. But with that being said, yes, there is cause for concern. Now, I will say this much, is there were 3 close losses, and it was like for 2 of those losses, the play was in the fourth quarter down the stretch when the Texans were going to tie or take the lead, and it was another player who fumbled. Last week, it was Nico Collins. 2 weeks ago against the Rams, it was Ogunbowale. But also, yeah, Stroud, absolutely. I think it's a mixture of things. Stroud has to play better, and also it's new offensive coordinator woes. I'm not worried about the defense. Um, I'm going to take the Texans in this one just because you can't get much worse than Tennessee at this time period. So Houston wins, and I've got Houston by 10. I'm going to say Houston 27-17.
I think what's happening with CJ is a product of people's own vision. He never should have been top 10 after one good season. Never should have been. He should have been considered a really decent, good year. But all this is happening to him because he still has to grow. He still holds the ball too long. He doesn't go through his progressions 100% of the time. And I've seen it with every quarterback that I've had in my career, in my third year. They're still getting there. It's not that he's going to get there, but maybe you're starting to understand that CJ was probably put to higher levels and the expectation that came with, but you didn't realize that this guy had a remarkable year with the remarkable wide receivers and that was catching on. But now people have got, they kind of know his weaknesses a little bit, and he hasn't overcame it yet. And I think that's the growth that needs to happen for him. I do think I'm not taking.
He froze.
He froze up.
He did freeze up.
You're frozen when your
Derrick
heart's not open. Shout out to Madonna.
Dom, go ahead.
His reception fumbled like Derrick Henry. Oh, he's back.
He's back. He's back. And he's gone. And he's back. And he's gone. And
he's gone. Hold on.
Timeout on the field.
There we go.
There he is.
All right. Go ahead, JJ.
So I think the Texans are going to win this game. I got them winning this game 20-17. But I definitely think Houston definitely has to kind of realize that as good as their quarterback has been, there are things that he still needs to work on. And it's not just from the offensive line standpoint. I think Tennessee, I like Cam Ward. I don't have any expectations of him doing anything. But I will say he has been able to still make some plays for them. And against a team that's like Houston that will give you opportunities, I think it's up to him. It's possible he can maximize on those. But I got Houston win this game, but I do think, especially if what's continuing on with Daniel Jones, this is not going to be easy to rebound from.
True.
Yeah.
Dom?
Wild card still alive, though.
I'm definitely taking the Texans. There's definitely cause for concern. There's also a certain level of desperation because you can't start 0-4. You just can't.
True.
That's it. And JJ's right about CJ Stroud. He was heaped with way too much praise after 1 year. But I would say the same thing about Jaden Daniels.
Agree.
He's out. I mean, they both had equally impressive rookie seasons. Both led their teams to the playoffs. And there's nothing wrong with congratulating a rookie and saying he's on the rise, but automatically trying to throw him into the top 10, top 8, top 5, anything like that. It's just crazy, and it's premature, and it usually ends up being wrong. Yep. Yeah, I'll take the Texans big. They get right off. They get right off the get right this week. 28-10.
All right. And
win for the Texans.
And next game, if you all would just read the caption.
Oh, yeah, baby. Dom, are you ready to give the Chargers their respect?
It's a different coach over there, Dom.
Well, he's quiet now.
I know. And you know
it's a coach
you guys know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh.
And it's a coach that defies the Charger going Charger thing because when you don't think he can win, he can win.
He can win.
That's true.
Go ahead, Dom.
I'm not gonna not pick the Chargers because it's the Giants. I'm excited that Russell Wilson has been shown his spot on the bench. So now Jackson Dart gets to start. Dart, that rhymes. But yeah, I'm still taking the Chargers.
Start the Dart.
I think it'll be closer than that spread, though. I'm going just barely off the spread. Chargers 27, Giants 21.
Okay, got a little bit close. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers as well. I'm sold on what they're doing. I think they're doing good stuff on both sides of the ball right now. And I think they are going to win the division. If they don't, and you guys can clip this, if they don't win the division, then, yeah, the charging is still there, if that's the case. If they allow Kansas City to come back and win, then I'm going to give it up and say charging is going to continue to exist. But I like what they're doing right now, and I think they win this game.
Yeah, they're already 3-0 in the division. So, yeah, they've already won half the games that they need to in their division. I mean, they are playing some of the best football in the league right now, and the Giants are just on test dummy mode. So I don't expect the Chargers to stumble because that's the only way that they lose this game. Jackson Dart shows some flashes, but ultimately it's all Los Angeles. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take them 31-13. JJ?
It's funny we were actually talking about this because I had a really good lengthy conversation about the whole Giants situation with Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, and at the end of the day, I think I can see where this is going with him. If it doesn't work out, I will be back here to say it's y'all fault. It is all y'all fault for saying push to start this guy with a team that's not really that great. What did you expect? But that's neither here nor there. I will take the Chargers in this one because, like I said, I believe in my brother. I've always believed in my brother. When my brother first got there last year, I do believe I said on this Gauntlet and on the picks on many occasions that the Chargers are going to be viewed differently under Jim Harbaugh because that grit, that clutch ability to push through when it comes hard that they often faltered, this guy excelled in. This guy has been the king of underdogs because from his college coaching at Stanford to San Francisco, dethroning the Seattle Seahawks, and to now coming over here, and now it's only a matter of time, and now he's got an offensive line. And not for nothing, they're doing all of this without their best offensive lineman who got hurt after signing his deal. And so at the end of the day, I do think the Chargers are a better team. And I think because I think he's finally going to tap into Justin Herbert's ascension. Bringing Keenan Allen back. Quentin Johnson is now catching footballs. Quentin Johnson was never catching footballs like this, and he's now catching footballs. So I actually like them in this one. I will take this spread because I think this is going to be a really big-time decisive victory for them. I've got them winning this game 31-14.
All right.
Two turnovers by Jackson Dart. One is a pick, and the other one is a fumble because he's trying to make something happen.
Trying to make a play. All right.
Next
game.
Commanders take on the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Penix 30-0 loss against the Carolina Panthers last week. Man, also Jaden Daniels did practice today. There's no decision right now if he's going to start or not, but he seems like he's on his way to starting this game, if I had to guess. I think the Commanders are going to win. Do not like what I'm seeing right now with Atlanta. Penix aside, you allow 30 points to the Carolina Panthers. One thing about Atlanta is we talked about their defense, how elite their defense is supposed to be. That was not very elite. I know it's a division game, but that was not very elite defense out there. So I think against Jaden Daniels and this Washington Commanders team, it's going to be a problem. I think the Commanders win this one.
I'm going to take the Commanders as well. That was just atrocious last week. Bryce Young hung 30, and the defense was all over the place. And big win for Bryce Young, a really, really big win, great divisional win. I still am sticking by my sentiment that the Panthers will finish second in this division. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Commanders in this one. I think the Falcons do have a better game than they did last week, but ultimately, whether it's Jaden Daniels or Marcus Mariota, any one of them can put out the Falcons. At this point, if you shut down Bijan, you probably got the game half won. I'm gonna take the Commanders 24-14.
See, I looked at that game against Commanders, and I think it's fool's gold for people seeing how much they did as well because I saw what Las Vegas did not. I'm going to take the Falcons in this one because their offensive line can actually block. They can actually run the football with Bijan because that's what Las Vegas didn't get a chance to do. But when they did have chances to do it, they were able to move the football. I don't believe in the Commanders as much as everybody else does. I'm not surprised. I look at that division game with Carolina, and I have to realize that maybe Carolina, and I've been seeing this from Carolina Panthers fans in general. Bryce is Bryce actually developed better than people have advertised, and I think what they've realized is they understand what works for them. So that happens in divisions. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a divisional opponent. They know you every single day. This team does not know you. And while this team did well against the Las Vegas Raiders defense,
Hit it
the
again.
Raiders. I know.
Vegas.
You can call
They're
them Oakland
forever.
if you
They're
want. It's
forever.
okay.
They're forever
Vegas.
Oakland. They're forever Oakland to me. San Diego's forever San Diego Chargers of Las Vegas, and Los Angeles Rams are forever St. Louis Rams for me. That's what I grew up on. But either way, the Raiders couldn't do anything. They couldn't block. Their running backs didn't know how to really block or so. And the offensive line of Atlanta does know how to block. And Bijan is a much better threat than anyone that the Raiders had to post, even Brock Bowers. So I actually will take the Falcons to win this one. I got them win at 24-21.
All right. Dom?
I guess I'm going to take the Falcons. They fired their wide receivers coach, former New York Giants great Ike Hilliard, after they went the entire season without a passing touchdown to a wide receiver or a tight end. It just seems like that Atlanta offense has too much talent and too many pieces to be getting shut out by the goddamn Carolina Panthers. I saw that. I mean, obviously I didn't watch it because that game was broadcasted in approximately 4 homes, 2 in Atlanta and 2 in Charlotte. I saw that box score. I was like, are you serious? And then I thought I was reading it wrong. And I went and looked on a different site. And I'm like, no, that really says 30-0 Carolina.
Yeah.
So that's got to light a fire under that offense. And I think even if Jaden Daniels is back, I don't think he's at 100%. He may not be at 100% the entire season. And like me and JJ were talking about earlier, I think you're going to see the leveling off of Jaden Daniels this year after all that praise was heaped upon him. I'm sure even more praise got heaped upon him after he put the Lions out in the second round of the playoffs. I'll give the man his props, but I'm just not there just yet on Jaden
They're
Daniels.
ready to put him top 5 after last season.
I know.
Yeah.
Prisoner of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's
All
crazy.
right.
Well,
Nick?
we can debate about this all day. One thing I think we can agree on, Chargers charging. One thing that's never going to die is Falcons falconing.
It's eventual, like the sunrise and the sunset. Next game. Do you ready?
The New Orleans Saints against
Oh my
the
God.
Buffalo Bills. The Bills looking like one of the best teams in the league this season. Josh Allen balling, James Cook balling. Really like what they're doing on as far as offensively. So I will obviously pick the Buffalo Bills. But last time we discussed the Bills covering that big spread, it didn't work out. So what do you guys think? Are the Bills going to cover this time?
I think they will. I've got the Bills beating Tulane University. The Saints still have the worst quarterback room in the league. And anytime
Spencer ain't played bad, though.
Forget quarterback. They got the worst team in the league.
team, yeah. I mean,
Spencer hasn't
oh
played
man,
the worst quarterback, though.
I mean, what position group do they really have that's like considered great? You got to think about it. You got a problem.
yeah.
None.
I mean, with
They have whatever's left of Alvin Kamara.
whatever's left of him, yeah. And he's in year 9. That's crazy. Yeah, Bills. Anytime you're a 2-score like favorite, the other team in professional football, that's bad. Goes without saying. I'm gonna take the Bills. I'm not even gonna spend that much time on it. Bills 4-0. JJ.
So I need to see how this line fluctuates because one thing I've noticed with this team when it comes to the Bills, double-digit spreads, it depends on how you do it. 16.5, I don't give a damn if I think they're going to win by 21. I'm not putting my money on it. Okay? I'll better off just taking the L and just get the less money for the money line. But I do think the Bills will win this game because I do think the Bills right now are the best team in the NFL right now. And I think the biggest reason behind that is not their quarterbacks, their running back. Because I think their running back has been the reason their offense has been able to dominate and Josh been able to play freely. And I think I love it because every week he does better. It's a slap in the face to people that was discrediting him last year just because they want this guy to win MVP. I love it because he is showing, and Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman are showing them, y'all were just ridiculously saying this stuff for no reason. You didn't really understand this Bills team at all. And I think because of James Cook's emergence as he's starting to come into like that, he may reach 2,000 plus scrimmage yards this year. He may get 10, 15, 20 touchdowns this year at the rate he's going. I got them winning mainly because I got him having a really good game. So if I was to pick a prop, I would take James Cook's fantasy score or James Cook's rushing receiving yards over 100 for this game.
Dom?
I'm going to take the Bills, obviously, as well, but not to cover. I think I'm actually going to go put some money on the Saints to cover the spread.
I'll tell you what, they win by 16.
I think they'll probably win by 14.
By 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like JJ said, because people always say that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend. I would say a running back is a mobile quarterback's best friend because he's saving a lot of wear and tear in short yardage and goal line situations. Josh Allen doesn't have to go out there like, man, I got to go get this first down myself. Man, I got to try and run it in 3 times in a row because it's first and goal from the 2. Now he can just hand it off to James Cook and sit back and relax, catch a breather, not get knocked around so much. So, yeah, give me...
They also have Montgomery, right?
Say what?
They also have another running back.
Who is their other running back? I forget.
It's not Montgomery. It's
not Montgomery.
God, I can't remember his name.
I can't either.
I think he was
Singletary.
He came as Singletary. Yeah,
Devin Singletary.
He came as a free agent a couple years ago. But yeah, I like the Bills. We all like the Bills. Bills win.
All right. Next game.
All right. Eagles against Buccaneers. Game that this team has kind of had the Eagles number.
They play you well. They've
had the Eagles number. I'll give it to them. Beat them in the regular season last year, albeit A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith were out that game. You had the playoffs the year before, which that was kind of the end of a collapsed season. Eagles started 11-1, and they lost 6 out of 7 games, and everything just kind of fell. The wheels fell off that season, and then Tom Brady also smoked the Eagles in the playoffs when he was with Tampa. So this team has had a lot of success. Let's just get that out the way. However, what I saw last week, Eagles were bad in the first half. They couldn't get anything going. But what we learned is, AJ Brown is pretty good at football. Good things happen when you put the ball in AJ Brown's hands. I think he only had 1 catch in the first half. Finished the game with 7 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown. So I feel like the way we play offense is very frustrating at times because it seems like we're always trying to play it safe. Oh, we got a great offensive line. Oh, we got Saquon Barkley. Let's just hand it off and throw these short passes. We can't continue to do this every single week when you have Devontae Smith, you have Dallas Goedert, you have A.J. Brown. It's almost as if Jalen Hurts is being put in a straitjacket. You got to let him throw the ball to open this offense up. It's going to make everything easier for Saquon Barkley. We don't need to run Saquon Barkley 25, 30 times every single game and run him into the ground. Yeah. When you have all these players. So that's my thoughts about the Eagles right now, and I think they are going to win this game. I think it's going to be close, but the way Tampa has been playing 3 fourth-quarter comebacks with Baker Mayfield, I give him his props. But, against the 0-3 Texans, the 0-3 Jets, what do you really want me to do with that? I'm not overly impressed with the Buccaneers. I think the Eagles are going to finally get one back against them. And we win a close one, 31-24.
This one right here was tough as I was making this whole thread. I'm normally hard pressed against picking against the Eagles. If this game was at the Link, I would have picked Philly, but the last couple of years, Raymond James Stadium has become the little shop of horrors for the Eagles. And from the way that the Buccaneers been playing ball, I know that without Mike Evans and everything. And granted, yes, they had those comeback wins against the Texans, the Jets, and all the world and everything. But I mean, you know what they say: good teams find a way to win ball games. You can't help your schedule. So it's going to be tough. I'm going to take the Bucs in this one. It's going to be close. I'll say the Bucs 26-23. I didn't have Philly going undefeated this year, so if they're going to get their first L, it may as well be this Sunday. JJ?
So I actually did, of course, think they would get their first L this past Sunday. And for the most part, I would say 95% of the game, the Rams were in control. But that last 5% ultimately demonstrated the grit of a champion. That last 5%, for you to come back in the way that you came back and how you won that game, granted, you're not going to see that every single week. But it's an element that is to take pride of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think they will win this game against the Buccaneers. And I actually think this is going to be a game where people are going to start to be like, oh, because just when you think that this team against a quality opponent is going to not be able to do what it normally does, especially a team that it has its trouble against, I think they're going to exercise that grit again, and I think they'll win this game. And I actually think they'll win this game by 4, 28-24.
All right, Dom?
Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to exercise their demons against the Bucs this week. Like James said, that offense is too talented and too multifaceted to just keep running Saquon Barkley all the time. We saw him get right last week, finally getting the ball to those two excellent wide receivers. I'm going to take the Eagles and beating that spread. I'm going like 28-20.
All right. And next game.
5. Oh,
Here we go.
Trap game.
We got the Detroit Lions going against the Cleveland Browns in a potential trap game. Can old man Flacco roll into Ford Field and stun the Motor City? Absolutely not. I was a little bit worried about the Lions after what I saw the first game of the season, losing both your coordinators. I was kind of getting reminiscent of, when that happened to the Eagles a couple years back, and it was just a rough season for us. But what I saw, especially again in that game against Baltimore, they were just moving the ball. They had 2 90-plus yard drives against the Ravens, and they were just doing whatever they wanted offensively. So stick to what's working. Get the ball to Gibbs, get the ball to Montgomery, and then, get the ball to your good wide receivers like St. Brown. Had that big play on the 4th down to kind of ice the game. That was a great throw from Jared Goff. Like what I'm seeing so far. I think that those 2 new offensive linemen just had new to the team, new to the system and everything. So just getting acclimated there. The longer the season goes, I think the Lions are going to get better. So I like what I saw from Detroit. I think they're going to take care of business. And I think they're going to continue to be up there with the top teams in the NFC.
I've got the Lions in this one. Speaking of those drives on Monday night, crazy stat. The last time Baltimore allowed a touchdown drive of 95-plus yards was 2001. And they allowed 2 of them on Monday night. Weird history. But, yeah, definitely the Lions in this one. This is where the Browns fall crashing back to earth very fast. I know James has had his takes, and we'll talk about the pack here later. You're not sold on the Packers, especially probably after last week. The question is, was it a hiccup game or is this really them? I mean, I guess time will tell. But the Browns, they don't do nothing against them. I don't see them scoring any more than 10 points in this one. Give the Lions 30-10. They just keep rolling. And, no miracle for the Browns. Go ahead, JJ.
Lions had a good game, don't get me wrong, but it did say something when 2 of your best defensive linemen were out in a game with a help and run defense, and your best offensive lineman that's not an offensive lineman was not playing either. So I do think because this is a different front that they're facing. They're not facing a front that has injuries. They lost against Green Bay Packers with Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. And now you got the best edge rusher in the game coming to town. And actually look at the three teams that the Browns have played. They have the best defensive numbers of a under 500 team against all of them. That defense is for real. That defense can meet them at the line. That defense can push back to that Detroit offensive line. Nobody can handle Myles Garrett in this league right now. No one has been able to handle him. So I think that the Lions will win, but I will definitely take the Browns to cover this game because I think their defense is going to cause some problems in that run game. Because the one thing I noticed with the Ravens, and I said it last time, is that I don't look at injuries, but yeah, they lost. They didn't have Van Noy, big-time run person. They didn't have Nadabike, big-time run person. And now you got the front that has all of their run personnel, and their defense has always been a strong point for them. So I don't expect the same type of win that they did against Baltimore. And I also do expect them to not have their quarterback sometimes put himself in harm's way, which is a catch-22 when you have Lamar, which is what happened with that defense was able to capitalize. Flacco, you can guarantee a pick on, but you can also guarantee he'll throw the ball away. I've got the Lions winning this game 27-20 because I think it's going to be a very tough game. And I think that offense is going to come across another strong defensive line that's not going to be with Baltimore. And I really hope that they don't come in looking at that Ravens game as like, oh, yeah, we there. Because just when you do that, that's when what happens. That's exactly my issue, and we'll get to my team when we come to it. When you already feel like you're there, you get shown that you're not there. And you don't want to play with this Cleveland Browns defense because their defensive best player can turn fumbles into return touchdowns and change games. So I think this is a trap game, but I got the Lions winning 27-20. I'll definitely take Cleveland to cover that spread.
All right, Dom?
Yeah, I got the Lions as well, but not covering. I think it's going to be another low-scoring war of attrition kind of game, like 17-10. To me, it really all kind of depends on which version of the Browns' pass defense shows up. Is it the one from last week where Jordan Love really couldn't do anything and they forced him into a bad pick towards the end of regulation? Or is it the team from the week before when Lamar just shredded them? They're going to stop the run. This much is not in doubt whatsoever, but it all depends what they can do on pass defense. Is it the week 2 Browns? Is it the week 3 Browns, or is it something in between? I think it's something in between. They're not going to completely shut us down like they did Green Bay. They're also not going to give up the farm like they did against Baltimore. So yeah, Lions 17-10, so not covering.
They pride themselves on that run game, on that stopping the run. They really do pride themselves on that. I mean, if you feel like if you can contain Derrick Henry, you really feel confident that you can come in and also be able to work with, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. But it's not going to be easy. Cleveland's
it's definitely going to be slow sledding in the run game. We're not going to abandon it, but it's going to be slow sledding.
The only problem with that is you still got St. Brown, you still got Jameson Williams, you still got Sam Laporta.
But part of the problem was they didn't have time to throw the football, and they had time against Baltimore. They may not have that same time against this Browns offensive front. That's also part of the factoring into why they might struggle is because they had all day against Baltimore. They didn't get recorded sack. That's not going to be I don't think that's going to be the case with Myles Garrett.
Right.
All right. What? Next game.
But I hear you, though. I don't.
All right. New England Patriots hosting
rematch of the Super Bowl.
Carolina Panthers. Yeah, that Super Bowl where the kicker kicked the ball out of bounds and basically handed the Patriots the win. I always think about that. Man, I like both of these young quarterbacks. I think Patriots going to take it at home. Patriots still trying to, move on from the Belichick era into the Mike Vrabel era. I like what they're doing. I think the Patriots handle business at home.
Mm-hmm. Close game, but I'm going to take the Panthers on this one. The Panthers seemingly really came alive. Now, people may say, "Oh, okay, well, it's the Falcons," but see, these are the games that Bryce Young needs as a young no pun intended, quarterback. Going in there and facing a crazy Foxborough crowd on the road. Where at one point in time that was the castle you didn't want to walk into and psychologically beat yourself up before facing that coach and that quarterback. But it's still the Patriots faithful. At the end of the day, Drake might have himself a 3-touchdown game. I think he's that good. But I'll take the Panthers in this one, in a close one. 27-21. Panthers pull away late. JJ?
It's ironic you say that they're trying to get away from the Belichick era when their coach just said Belichick's open to come in at any time. That is so funny to me. And it's a former player of that said coach. And so they're getting rid of him, but there's a part of them that I don't think, in 20 years, he has made them the most winning. Him and Tom Brady have made them the most winningest team in franchise in NFL history. They ain't never gonna forget about Bill. They ain't never gonna forget about that.
I thought they said that Belichick's not allowed to visit the facility.
So Vrabel said he was open. I read that Vrabel said he's open anytime, so there may be a conflict of that. But my thinking is that they still love him a lot because his name's still coming up. His name is always going to be forever. His name is forever going to be tied. So, I don't think they're ever really, really going to get away from that, because when you talk about their history and their wins, it all came from him and Brady at quarterback. There are no other Super Bowl that they've won has happened if any other coaches right now. And now they have a player that won 3 Super Bowls with that coach. But I need that to say, this is an intriguing game of 2 quarterbacks that have often been overlooked in their class. But I think that they're actually going to become very legit quarterbacks. I will take the Panthers to cover, but I've got this game. I think this is going to be a good time of possession, run the football, control the clock game between both teams. And I got this being a low-scoring game of winning 21-17 Patriots over Panthers.
All right, Dom?
I'm really not sure who I want to pick here. I want to take the Patriots, but I'm afraid that Ramondre Stevenson might fumble away the ball in the game for his team. That was fucking embarrassing what he did last week.
Oh, yeah.
The Panthers are so up and down. The Patriots I like, and I want to trust them. I picked them to make the playoffs. I guess I'll take the Patriots in a close one, low scoring, 20-17.
All right. Next game.
We got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on San Francisco Red Cowboys. Can Trevor Lawrence beat Mac Jones and the Niners go to 2-2? Oh boy, you guys know I don't like doing this, but the Red Cowboys are going to be 4-0 after this week. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence at all. I think he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. I think San Francisco is actually doing some good stuff for now. I think at some point in the season it's going to fizzle out. But for right now, I hate to say it, but the Red Cowboys is going to be 4-0.
Mm-hmm. I'll go real short. I'm going to take the Niners in this one. Although if this was in Jacksonville, I'd have it at a closer game. But Mac Jones is actually filled in pretty nice in the absence of Brock Purdy. And despite taking a couple of injuries on the team, you had to George Kittle and Juwan Jennings is still out. There's still out there going out and getting it done. And yeah, the Niners 4-0 after this one. I will take the Niners 20-17. JJ?
2 words as to why they have not been tripping about losing Debo, Juwan, and George. His name is Ricky Pearsall. And Ricky Pearsall is becoming a nice, legit threat for both quarterbacks. Brock Purdy had it going, and Mac Jones relies on Ricky Pearsall. And he has a really great way of getting open. He's a good route runner, and I think that they have a very good team. I think this is going to be a very competitive game because while I do have questions about Trevor Lawrence, I do like what they're doing with this team despite their questions about Trevor Lawrence. And I think this is going to be a very, very close game. I actually will give the 49ers the win, but I do think that this is going to be one of those games where, just like against Arizona, a game-winning drive is going to have to be had. And I've got this game being really kind of low scoring. I'm going to go. I can't remember what I put at work because we have a picks thing at work. I think I put 21-17. But I'll go 20. I'll go 21-17 49ers over Jaguars. But with the Jaguars failing on a turnover on a fourth down, trying to continue the drive to go score for the touchdown.
Dom?
I'll take the Niners as well and to cover. Trevor Lawrence, I'm done with you. And they're doing everything in their power now to ruin Travis Hunter. Like, pick a side, pick a position, and then let him play 10 plays on the other side because they're trying to get him killed on offense. He's not RoboCop. You can't keep sending this dude over the middle. Does he barely even weigh 200 pounds? They're going to get him killed. And then on defense, he doesn't want to hit guys. And, coming from the tutelage of Deion Sanders, they didn't pay me to tackle. Yeah, no shit, Deion. I never saw you fucking tackle anyone. And now your little protege doesn't want to go do it either. And you can't be an elite corner in this league nowadays without the ability and at least somewhat willingness to hit. With all of the RPOs and you got to come up in the run game and hit somebody, or at least make it look like you're going to try to hit somebody. You can't shy away from that. I think maybe part of that with him is he goes to play defense on a series after he just heard footsteps on offense because they're throwing him the ball over the middle. And like I said, they're going to get this kid killed or they're going to ruin him. And I feel sad for him for that because I think he's a phenomenal talent and a really good kid. And he doesn't deserve what they're doing to him. But yeah, give me the Niners. Mac Jones, Red Cowboys, 4-0. It makes me sick to my stomach, but not for long.
All right, next game.
It'll even out. We got a good one on our hands now. The undefeated Colts are visiting the Los Angeles Rams that blew a 26-7 lead against the Eagles last week. Rams are slight favorites at home. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna have to slow my roll with the Indianapolis Colts. They're 3-0. I picked them every single week so far, but I do think the Rams are going to bounce back at home. I feel like with this team, they're too good not to. Going to get some pressure on Daniel Jones with Jared Verse and that defensive line, and if it gets into a high-scoring game, I just don't know that Indianapolis has the firepower to get it done. Jonathan Taylor is a beast. Love him. But you look at these two teams. One side you got Michael Pittman. Another side I got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. So if you're getting into a shootout, I just don't think the Colts are going to be able to win. If Colts have any chance, I think they got to keep it into a low-scoring game. Once you get into the 30s, I think that's when it can start to be a problem. So I'll take the Rams slightly. I will take them 34-27.
Okay. Daniel Jones, crazy stat. First quarterback to have 3+ passing touchdowns, 3+ rushing touchdowns, and 0 turnovers in his first 3 starts. Interesting. Yep, one Daniel Jones. If this was an Indy facing that crowd, I might have picked the Colts, but I'm gonna take the Rams in this one. But I actually have it a little bit lower scoring.
That crowd.
I'm going to. I actually have a feeling it's going to be a race to 21, but I'll take the Rams 24. I'll take the Rams 24-17. They bounce back. They definitely learned from blowing that lick against Philly and getting their revenge. But they come away with it in this one. They pull away in the fourth quarter. JJ?
Let me ask y'all a question. Is Brian Daboll a good offensive coordinator or a good offensive genius for a team?
Absolutely not.
I mean, like if Brian Daboll's not a good person that can scheme up an offense for a team.
Based on what I've seen the last few seasons, absolutely not.
I'm not talking
and what
about
Daniel
as head
Jones is
coach.
doing right now.
But the thing is, Daniel Jones came of age to people under Brian Daboll's first year when he won Coach of the Year. And the reason why that was a big point is because he had Saquon Barkley, who also had a good year under Brian Dable. So Daniel Jones is with another guy that's a coach that is a pretty good coordinator and has a running back that also could do the same thing Saquon does. So it does make a reason why Danny is doing pretty well. I think Danny is showing people that every quarterback needs a good system and a good run game. Running backs, you're not devalued now because you never should have been devalued. And I think Jonathan Taylor is the difference maker for them. With that said, I am a person that does believe in the Los Angeles Rams. And I think they look back at that game against Philly and was like, yeah, they beat us, but we definitely could have won that game. We could have handled that a lot better. We could have definitely shut this down. And I think they're going to be like, you know what? We got another quality opponent, and we are going to do so. He did, but he's a coach. But at the end of the day, I can actually go back to all the best coaches, and they've done stupid plays. Andy Reid just did one 2 weeks ago or a week ago. It just, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But at the end of the day, I do think that the Rams are going to win this game. But I have them winning this game 31-28, because I think this is going to be a game where both teams could do the same thing. They could run the football, and they have weapons for both quarterbacks that they like. LA has a little bit better weapons, in my opinion, at wide receiver, but I think the better running backs at Indianapolis. But I do got Los Angeles Rams winning this one. But I think it's going to be a really good competitive game. I think there's going to be some good chances to get some overs on people.
Blake Corum ain't bad either for the Rams.
Dom?
Tyler Warren's not a bad guy.
Give me the Rams. Much like James said, if it ends up being a high-scoring affair, I just don't think the Colts can hang on offense. I don't know what to think about that spread. Although I think the Rams actually cover, like 35-28.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me ask y'all this before we go to the next game. How are y'all waiting for the Colts to fall off, or do y'all think they actually do something?
No. I still think the Colts are a really good team. I just don't think it's a good matchup if they get into a high-scoring affair. Rams just got more weapons.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that they're that good yet. I'm not convinced by anyone after 3 weeks. I'm not convinced that any 3-0 team is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm not convinced that any 0-3 team, other than the absolute bottom feeders, don't have a chance to turn their season around. I think the Colts are the best of the worst in that division, and I still don't think they run away with that division.
Yeah, I mean it's fair to say that the NFC West is tougher than the AFC South. They play each other this season as you know, two divisions. So I mean, we'll see. But next game,
got the Chicago Bears taking on the Raiders, coming off that big win against the Dallas Cowboys.
Can we flex this to February 30th?
I think the Bears are going to continue to roll in this game. I really like some of the creativity. Some of the plays that were called in that game, that flea flicker coming off to start the game hot. That's the type of stuff the Chicago Bears are going to have to do if they want to, stay in the mix to, be in that wild card conversation come the end of the season, because they got some pretty good players on offense. DJ Moore's been in the league for a long time, done some really good stuff. Remember when he was with the Panthers? You got Swift there. You got Adunze. You got a good wide receiver. So I feel like Chicago, they gotta do some creative stuff. They want to be in that conversation. So I think they're gonna do it. And they'll win this game pretty handily against the Raiders.
I actually wouldn't mind if they had flexed this to the first Monday night game, which we'll get to in just a minute. But I got the Bears in this one. I really liked what I saw out of Caleb Williams this past Sunday against Dallas. I mean, it seems just like everything was clicking. Swift was clicking. Rome Odunze. Luther Burden went deep and got a touchdown. 3 receptions for 103 and a score. Hey, not bad, Rook, But I'll take the Bears in this one. This one might be closer than the Cowboys game, but I'll take the Bears 27-20. and Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams keep it rolling at least for one more week. JJ?
I'm going to take the Bears in this one because I think that I do think there are two pretty significant issues
Whoa, Grizz.
the Rams have because one, the offensive line really cannot block right now. They can't block anybody. And on top of that, Gianti should have been not a first round pick because he doesn't have no blocking ability at all. He looks lost out there a lot of the time. He's a good running back that can run the football, but he has a lot of holes in him. I did watch a few
That
snaps.
pick was so Raiders.
It reminds me of them taking Darius Hayward-Bay just because he had the fastest combine time.
Was he in the top 5?
Gianti was like 7, I think. 7 or 8.
Hayward-Bay was 7. I don't know about Gianti, but I think he should have been drafted, but I do not think first round pick because when I was kind of surprised at how dazed and confused he looked in blocking.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to recognize something. It's one thing to recognize and then whiff and miss. It's a couple. He wasn't even looking. The guy was coming this way. He was looking this way, and it's like he looked like he didn't know what was going on. And I think that those things alone.
Shades of Trent Richardson as a Raider.
I don't know.
A lot of people have made that comparison,
but it's because he needs time. He does not need those expectations of what a first-round back is supposed to produce, especially that level. But I do think the Bears are going to win this game, and I'll actually take them to win by 3. So I'll take them to cover because I do think this is a spread because based on where the teams are. But I do think the Bears are in a better position now, even though I would think that the Bears have the better coach. I mean, the Raiders have the better coach. But I got the Bears winning this game. I've got them winning 20-17.
Don't grill me for saying this because I don't really watch a lot of college football, but prior to Genti being like in the Heisman race last season, I never heard of him. For the last,
a lot of people hadn't. Boise State,
Some people hadn't, yeah. Probably also because he played for Boise State, it's a Mountain West team, but
you got the lion's share of those yards against,
everybody.
average teams with run defenses ranked like 60 or lower.
Yeah,
he did have a couple good games against a couple good teams, but like JJ said, I don't think he should. He probably shouldn't have been a first round pick at all. Although I think if he was still there in the teens or wherever Dallas drafted, I think Dallas would have taken him. He's definitely struggling, but it's like the holes aren't there. Geno's not having a great season throwing the ball.
He can't.
So they can't exactly set up the run with the pass right now. I don't know something really sickening. The NFL leader in touchdown passes, it's Caleb Williams. The NFL leader in touchdown receptions, it's Rome Odunze. And even though I think the Bears are going to win this game, fuck them. I'm picking the Raiders. I think Gianti somehow finally busts out and gets 100 yards.
Nice.
Don't ask me how. I can feel it.
All right. And here we go.
The Bears have their chest puffed out. What was the name of the USFL team that played in Dallas?
Oh, the Renegades?
Yeah, that Chicago beat up on the Dallas Renegades defense last week.
As good as the Bears looked, I do have something to say about the team that they faced, but we'll get to that later. Let's go to the next game.
Oh, there's the Dallas
Renegades
right there.
What happened to the Chiefs and the Ravens? I thought.
Oh, shoot. There it is.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, reigning AFC champion, are a 2.5 home underdog. Can Patrick Mahomes defend the home turf against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens? This is going to be a close game. Going into it, I would pick the Ravens. But what I saw in that Monday night game against the Detroit Lions, I just have too many concerns, especially with the offense. Yes, they still put up a lot of points, but that offensive line was terrible against Detroit. They sacked Lamar, 8 or 9 times, and Lamar is
Probably
still
7.
good at getting away from pressure because he's such a good athlete, but they were just coming after him, and he didn't have time to do anything. You got a good Chiefs defensive line. You got Karlaftis. You got Chris Jones. I think the Chiefs are going to keep themselves in this game. It's going to be a tight, close game late in the fourth quarter, and I think it's going to be 20-17 Chiefs. Mainly because I don't trust the Ravens to protect Lamar after what I saw.
It's hard pressed to see, and even they kind of let the Giants hang around a tad bit on Monday night, but I don't see them going 1-3. I'll take the Chiefs in this one. It will be close. It will be close. If the Ravens are going to win this game, first things first is Derrick Henry has to remember to hang on to the football, and second of all,
that's true.
At some point, that Steve Spagnuolo defense has to, come alive, and usually it does later on in the season. But I'll take the Chiefs in this one. Again, I've got it close. I'm gonna say 28-24, and the Chiefs move to 2-2. JJ?
Not exactly happy or comfortable about this game, obviously, but I will say if Patrick Ricard is playing, the offensive line will be 10 times better. I will put $100,000 on that because that's how much that man is impactful to that offensive line. One of the main reasons why the Ravens for the last 5 or 6 years have been dominating is that when the linebacker goes to attack the running back, he got to deal with a 300-pound fullback. A 300-pound fullback coming at him. He hasn't played this whole start of the season. And if he does play, that's what I'm curious about because I like us a little bit more in that front. However, I also think, similar to Detroit, I do see my team. They say they're not doing it, but I do give off a sense that they're just supposed to just instantly just get whatever they want whenever they want. They come off as if that, all right, you can get us, but we already know what we gonna come back and do this. And teams are like, yeah, you can, but we're not the same team as you were before. And this is a team that has a mental edge around the Ravens because we saw what happened when the Ravens were the number 1 seed against this team. They lost them both. They lost that year. But I will say, if we are going to beat this team, I will say, yes, let Lamar loose because when he's let loose, that has been the Ravens' best chance at defeating these Chiefs. Even as bad as they appear, there's still a psychological edge that comes with them. But I will give them the chance to win this game, but I would not be surprised if we end up 1-3 because of all the teams that I will say does seem to always have a hold on us. It's not no freaking Josh Allen because you won 2 playoff games. We still have a winning record against you. It ain't no Joe Burrow because he beat us one time. We have a winning record against you. It is that quarterback that we faced over there that has really been able to dominate in every facet no matter what happens with this team. That is the real weapon. That is the only team that the Ravens have a threat against. That is the team that we look at that we need to get past. Not Buffalo's, not just Cincinnati's, none of them. This team. And so for me, they don't look the same against them, but I hope that they do look the same with this one. If Patrick Ricard plays, that will make it a lot better. But I've got them winning this game. I got them winning 33-30 because I think neither team's defense is going to stop anything.
All right. Dom?
I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I wanted to be able to lone wolf the Ravens so badly. I knew JJ would still pick them, though. It's a regular season game against Patrick Mahomes. Of course, Lamar Jackson's going to beat him. And I think they're a little bit more desperate sitting there at 1-2 than KC is because the Ravens, they lost to a couple good teams. They beat up on a crappy one. But I think the Chiefs' time is over. I think they're headed in the wrong direction. And the Ravens need this game more than the Chiefs do, I think, maybe, although the Chiefs are in the tougher division. I just think the Ravens need it because I still consider them a legitimate Super Bowl contender, whereas the Chiefs, I do not. So, yeah, give me the Ravens, and I think they cover, 27-20.
All right.
All right, so we got another split.
All right, next game.
Sunday night football. Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I want to bring two perspectives of this matchup. First, Green Bay is a team that pretty much has Dallas' number. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It isn't Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. They both have beat Dallas in the playoffs. So Green Bay has been getting a lot of flowers early in the season. Kind of came crashing back down to earth. If Green Bay were to lose this game, I am out on the Green Bay Packers at that point, as far as being a Super Bowl contender in the NFC. However, I think they're going to win this game. Dallas, I didn't even bring up Micah Parsons returning to the team he was obviously with for the last 4 years. So he's going to have that chip on his shoulder going into Jerry World. But that's a problem. That's a problem with Dallas, I think, is some people were making the case that because Micah is not really a great run defender, getting rid of him was going to overall help the defense. But it's the opposite. Dallas has no pass rush, and they have no secondary. So I feel like Jordan is just going to sit back there all day and pick them apart, just like Caleb Williams did. Just like Russell Wilson did.
Mm-hmm.
And offensively, before the rain delay, receivers were not getting open, but Jalen Hurts had no problem moving the ball against his defense. So I think it's the defense of the Cowboys is really disastrous, and it's going to continue to be a problem for them all season. And against the Packers defense, which is still pretty good, he's not going to be able to make enough plays. So Green Bay, 34-20.
All right. I actually have it. I've got Green Bay by a touchdown. I'll say 31-24. CeeDee Lamb is out for a little bit with that ankle injury, but this is going to be the time that George Pickens steps it up, as well as Javonte Williams as well in their absence. The defense has got to find a way to slow down Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Romeo Doubs, Tucker Kraft, and other all-stars on there. So, and again, as
Golden
James,
finally had a decent game, even though they lost.
Yeah, but as Dom and James alluded to, and I know people really don't sold on the Packers, but historically the Packers have just owned the Cowboys. I'm going back to probably 2009. So I'm going to take the Pack in this one. I've got it a little closer, but I said 31-24. Jordan Love of the Packers should have a bounce back game, and then the problems continue in Dallas. JJ?
I actually like the Packers in this one, but I'll take the Cowboys to cover. I feel like this is going to be a shootout. I feel like they're going to be a shootout between these teams because they both have the offenses are really good. I don't think Green Bay has a number one wide receiver that they can really be like time to take over and stuff. But I think that they have a good run game, and that's what they're going to rely on. I do think that the wide receiver group is better in Dallas, but they do have issues on the defensive side. And they do have issues, of course, we already know with the pass rush and stuff. I like what Micah said. He don't give a dang about no tribute but a win. And I think that we are making this way too big of a deal because it's not as if it's Reggie White who came over, who had been established as the clear-cut number one best defensive lineman, or edge rusher, or defensive lineman at the time coming over. This is an edge rusher which is so interesting now, is that they're all glorifying, but y'all used to killing them last year and the year before for not showing up. So why are we making a hoopla about it now? What's the deal? But needless to say, I think if we make it so much on that, it's not about Micah. This was already going to happen before he even got traded. They were already on the schedule before then. So if you make it about him, you might be working against Green Bay's favor. But if you don't make it about him, which I don't think they're going to do, I think they'll win this game. And I got them winning this game 31-27.
All right, Dom?
Yeah, there's no way in hell that I could pick the Dallas Renegades, not with that defense. Like JJ said, the Packers do not have a number one wideout. I mean, I guess they do in theory, Christian Watson, but he's typically in a body cast with his insides being made of either paper mache or balsa wood. I'm not sure which one, but that's approximately how not sturdy that man is. Jaden Reed is also out for a while. It's a good opportunity for Golden to step up along with those other guys they have, but they have the better run game. They have the better defense. Quarterbacks, it's kind of a wash. Obviously, I've never been a big fan of either one of those guys, but I don't see any scenario unless Jordan Love throws like 4 picks. I don't see any realistic scenario where the Cowboys could win this game, and I just love the fact that they're almost a touchdown underdog at home. That's how bad the Cowboys are right now. But if you ask Jerry Jones, they're still a playoff contender.
Did you see number 4 out there?
Yeah. All right. Well, and I'm overdue for confidential guys, so we probably should blaze through these. But all right, Monday Night Football.
Oh God.
I'm
None
rolling
of
with
us
the
could even
Jets.
make a pick, and it wouldn't matter.
I'm rolling with the Jets to get their first win.
Jets. I'm taking the Dolphins just because they're
Ooh.
playing the Jets. The Dolphins are due for a win. Just give me Miami. JJ.
Oh, it's interesting. I actually am going to take the Jets on this one. I do think Miami's playing a little bit better, but I like the Jets defense to still bottle them up and be able to get this victory. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Well, ugly game. Like ugly game. Ugly. Like ugly. I'm going to go 17-14.
Dom.
Give me the Jets. The Dolphins slide continues. Sorry, Jen Shearer. Your team sucks.
All right. All right. And last game.
Denver Broncos. Man, I hate this for Cincinnati, but they're just not going to be able to do anything without Joe Burrow.
Broncos. Although I wouldn't be shocked if it was a little bit closer, but I'm going to take the Broncos, and I'll take them to cover. JJ?
I like the Broncos in this one. I don't think Cincinnati's in a state that they can feel confident about too much of anything. I don't think they're in a state of, they can feel like, oh, your franchise quarterback is out for the next 3 months. You have a backup quarterback who has played before and it looked pretty good, but now he's facing a very complex defense which has got some hitters, and their offense is good enough to threaten your defense, to threaten your offense to be pushed out of what they want to do. So I'm going to give the Broncos this one. I will be big and take that they'll cover this game. I got them winning 31-20.
And
I'll take the Broncos, but not to cover. I'm not sure why. I think Browning looks less terrible than he did last week. I mean, if he can just go out there and remain upright and not turn the ball over every fucking 5th play, he'll look better than he did last week. That was atrocious what he did against the Vikings. But yeah, give me the Broncos. Like, somehow kind of a low-scoring affair, even though the Bengals defense is atrocious. I'm thinking like 21-18.
those weird scores. All right. Well,
That's the Bengals kicking 6 field goals, by the way.
All right.
That's it, boys.
Well, that's it, players. Ladies and gentlemen, and people watching the show, thank you guys for tuning in. And the Gauntlet will be live Friday at 8 p.m. And that's it.
We gone.
Good night.